tonight.
Yeah, so am I.
Excuse me, Mary Elizabeth.
Why are you packing up all the stuff I gave you?
Because I don't want any of it. Because I'm mad at you.
Well, I thought you might be. That's why I came here to talk to you.
Well, too bad. Because I don't want to talk to you.
Oh, come on, Mary Elizabeth. What did I do that was so awful?
You changed, Johnny. And I don't like it. And I don't like you anymore either. So here you go.
Well, I think we got ourselves a little problem now because I still love you. Oh, come on. You can't stay mad at your big brother now, can you?
So where's Tammy?
Well, I guess I decided that since I'm going to be leaving and going to be so far away that I better just take my heart with me. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm not going back to boot camp.
You're not? That's great. You get to stay home.
Well, no, I'm not staying here either.
How come?
Well, a couple of days ago, I got my orders. And I wanted to let you know that that's probably why I've been acting kind of different and all.
What's wrong, Johnny?
Tomorrow morning, they're sending me to fight. Somewhere in Vietnam called the Mekong Delta.
Looks like this Tuan person's been in the States for at least 10 years.
No, he just got here. He came looking for my brother.
No, I'm sorry, Mrs. Sims, but the report says a Tuan and a Kim Tu Win applied for American citizenship in Missouri in '89. Who's Kim Tu?
Well, that's his mother, but he says she died in Vietnam.
Well, then, I hope you believe in miracles, because it looks like she was resurrected in St. Louis.
I told you, Mary Elizabeth, you can't trust none of them. I bet you Scotch Rock she ain't even his mom.
Then who is she?
Or someone just paid him to say she was.
It's called piggybacking. Someone in Vietnam with a lot of money pays an Amerasian to say they're related. That way, if someone like Tuan gets American citizenship by deceiving someone like you...
It makes it easier for them to do the same.
Sorry, I couldn't help you.
Mr. Johnson, weren't you afraid that a prenatal contract would instill a sense of doubt in your commitment to your marriage?
No, because she knew the only reason for the contract in the first place was that I'd been hurt before.
I don't understand. You felt in order to make your marriage work that this contract would help? How?
I needed something to make it okay for me to try to raise another family and not be afraid that what happened before would happen again. Once it was signed, I knew I could trust again.
So you must have made it very clear that if your wife didn't sign this contract, there would be no children.
No, not really. In fact, after I came up with the whole idea, she was the one that contacted her attorney, Mr. Schillings, over there before I could.
If she was so against the idea, why'd she do that?
She said it's because she trusted me. I know I trusted her.
Would you have had children without a contract?
Absolutely. Having children is why people get married.
Did you tell her that?
Many times.
And what was the need for the contract?
Because we both agreed that having children wasn't the point, but raising them in a home filled with trust was. And signing the contract would do that for me. She knew that, and that's why she agreed to sign.
Thank you.
Isn't it true, Mr. Johnson, that my client wasn't the one that filed for divorce?
Yes, that's right.
And isn't it also true that she begged your forgiveness? That she apologized for what she admits was the biggest mistake of her life?
Yes.
In fact, isn't it true that you dreamed up this whole idea of a prenatal contract so that one day you could use it against her and raise these children by yourself?
No. Because the truth is, I was hoping the contract would never be used. That was the whole point.
Oh, come on, Mr. Johnson, admit it. Your wife slept with another man, and you hate her for it.
I don't hate her. I just can't forgive her.
For what she did to you or for what she did to the children? Because, Mr. Johnson, the children don't care about your male ego or some line in the contract. They just want their mother back. Isn't that true?
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel is testifying.
Overruled.
But, Your Honor, counsel cannot...
Overruled.
Now sit down, Miss Jackson.
Tell me something, Mr. Johnson. If someday your kids do something that you can't forgive them for, are you going to walk out on them too?
My children didn't make a vow to me. I made a vow to them. And that vow was to spend my life trying to make their lives better.
Making a speech, Your Honor.
Answering the question.
Please continue, Mr. Johnson.
My wife made the same vow to the children. But instead of keeping it, she made a choice to abandon them. And that's why I'm here. That's what I will never be able to forgive her for. And I don't know how you or anyone else can expect me to feel any different.
Tuan,
Yes?
why did you lie to me about your mother?
What?
She's not dead and you've been here since 1989.
I'll get my things.
No, you're not going anywhere till I find out the truth.
So I lied.
About everything?
No. Only about my mother.
She's here somewhere, isn't she? Unless she's not really your mother. She's just somebody who's paying you to lie.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, go on. Go on, and I'll be happy to call the police and the VA and the Immigration Service and the newspapers and let them know what's going on here.
I'm sorry for the lie about my mother, but you lied as well. To my grandmother. I knew who she was as soon as I saw her, just as you did when you first saw me. I lied to protect my mother until I knew the truth.
The truth about what?
About whether you were still protecting my father from me.
Why would I do that?
Because we're hated. In Vietnam, we're the children of a war with the face of an American. And here we're hated because we remind our fathers of a place they want to forget.
Johnny wasn't like that. If he's your father, it's because he loved your mother. And he would have done anything to see her again. And help raise his son.
If that's true, then there is something that I want from you. Meet my mother. Tell her that. So she can die knowing the truth.
Women should have the right to expect that the courts will protect them during what may be, Your Honor, the most vulnerable periods of their lives. That is, the time they decide to have a child. Now, I think what Mr. Johnson did was appalling. He waited for just the right time, and then he preyed upon the natural instinct of a woman to have a child. And in doing so, he took the choice of not signing that contract away from her. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Schilling's closing was admittedly a moving argument supporting the rights of mothers. And who can argue with that? But what about the child's right to be raised by a father who did nothing wrong but tried to protect them with love in the form of a contract? A contract which was entered into by two informed and willing adults. Your Honor, children everywhere should have the right to expect a fair and unbiased decision when their parents step into the courtroom to battle for their future. They should also have the right to expect that their parents' gender will not tip the scales of justice in one direction or another, and that the court's decisions will be determined by the specifics of each and every case brought before it, and not based on outdated notions of which gender is more capable of giving